And I made a promise to her that nothing in the resolution between she and I will be made public.
Was
I
the
think
joint
I think the reason that one of the reasons that this resonated is because it did seem to fit into a pattern of financial issues. Your critics would say irresponsibility reflected by the tax liens that date back 20 years, the mortgage defaults. It does seem that you have a history of not paying bills, even from your former campaign manager who took off after you for failing to honor a debt that you had incurred.
Mike, the difference with this one is, and I think you'll all appreciate this, look, I ran for Congress 2 years ago. You talk about an open book. Oh my God, I walked around like this, guys, for a year, naked. And so, Mike, we talked about these things. I may have been one of the first congressional campaign candidates 2 or 3 years ago that talked about the fact I lost a home. I struggled financially. Boy, was I put through the ringer for a number of years. And I talked about these things. Which, the difference here, Mike, was this came after the election. And this was really personal. This sort of called me out as a father. And that's why I said, this is different. I'm going to fight this hard. But because it involves my kids, and look, this may not make sense. It involves the mother of my kids. This needed to be done right. And Mike, and just to your other point, look, bring it on. Tammy Duckworth, bring it on. My God. Tammy Duckworth won the primary a couple weeks ago. That night, I invited her to join me, starting in April, to a series of monthly debates directly in front of voters, Mike Flannery, who are concerned with the fact that more people in my district this year are going to lose their homes than lost their homes last year. More people in my district this year are unemployed more this year than they were last year. That is what voters in this district, in this race, are going to want to know. And Tammy Duckworth, to date, refuses to get directly in front of voters. David Axelrod, Rahm Emanuel, whoever is running her campaign, is going to do their damnedest to keep her away from direct questions. And if she wants to spend 7 months talking about Joe Walsh's personal issues, 2 things. Shame on her, but do it, Tammy. Please do it. Because the voters are going to see right through that. Not this year. Not when we're hurting like we are. Tammy Duckworth, bring that on. That's not right.
Now, you said you struggled financially, you lost your home, the child support issue. Have you now resolved your financial issues?
Oh, it's a constant struggle. It's a constant struggle. My wife and I are doing the best we can, especially ever since I've been elected, to save, to take care of things. Absolutely. But it's a constant struggle. I'm not unlike a lot of families in this district. So you know what's so funny as well about this business? It's not just a Republican thing. We're so used to electing people who are wealthier than us. How many millionaires do we have in the United States Senate, in the U.S. House? Joe Walsh ain't a millionaire, okay? And I never claimed I was when I ran. I ran as an open book. And there's no member of Congress that's held more town halls than I do. We talk about this stuff at my town halls.
Are your children relieved? Are they relieved with today?
Oh, gosh, yes. Gosh, yes. And I think they are so appreciative and thankful that both their mother and their father did the right thing and took care of this in private. And look, who knows where I'll be in 2 years, 4 years, 20 years. Who knows if I'm still in any elected office or what I'm doing. But I'll go to my grave, hopefully a long, long time from now, knowing that my ex-wife and I taught our kids a valuable lesson. You talk about a mega fight, you talk about something that could have been blaring headlines for months, and we both chose the right road and said, not with this. It's private. The kids come first.
Was the joint statement and the wording in the joint statement part of the settlement?
It was language both my ex-wife and I agreed on and felt very comfortable with. Yes.
So why not just leave it at that? Why not just send out a joint statement and why call a press conference to to make it more public, something that's so private?
I wanted to do 2 to 3 things with this press conference. One of the most frustrating aspects of my response the last 16 months, basically just keeping my mouth quiet, is that literally every single day I would go to bed wanting to scream, because I have never been able to tell my side of the story. When I said in my statement that there are a lot of people out there that think Joe Walsh abandoned 3 kids in diapers, folks, there are people out there that think that. I want people to know, even if it's in a 2-minute statement, I want to be able to tell people this is who I was as a father, and by the way, this is who the mother of my kids was as a mother. I wanted to explain to people, because even on our side, we'd have so many supporters over the last few months who have said, come on, Congressman, get out there and defend yourself. I wanted to explain to them why I purposely kept my mouth quiet.
You've said that she had been less than truthful about the amount of child support that you owed her. In coming to a settlement, did she ever say that she was wrong or she might have miscounted?
I think that beautiful, wonderful, amazing things can happen when 2 adult people sit down quietly in a room and try to do what's best. We both did that, and I think we both realized, like my statement says, and again, I know I'm a congressman, so things are different for a congressman, but like married couples everywhere we had issues, we say that in a statement. Like married couples everywhere we made mistakes, we say that in a statement. You can solve that stuff a lot easier when you sit down in private. And that's what we did. Again, the sole motivation being the well-being of our kids. Yes, sir.
And just to follow up and clarify, you're saying today that you were never overdue in child support payments?
No. And again, I don't know what part of was never a deadbeat dad people don't understand.
So the lawsuit was a
That's it, folks.
misunderstanding, is that what you're saying?
Let me make one final point again. I can't tell you enough. This is personal. I can't tell you enough how disappointed I am in Tammy Duckworth's team for putting out a release like that on a day like that, when this should be news that both sides celebrate. A family took care of business.
But your ex-wife must have thought she had a problem with your child support, and was she mistaken, or was it a mistake in good faith, or was she trying to be a pain, or what was the problem?
And again, I think that the answers to that all came out when she and I were able to sit down. And as I'll say for the umpteenth time, the answer to your question was no. And I am so thankful that she agrees with me. Together we agreed that I was never ever a deadbeat dad.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.